we fully sympathize with everybody who's been afflicted, who's been trampled upon by America, by everybody else. But we have to look after our own selves, and that's where we got to start. Thank you.
We got the full quorum. Naseem is here, so I will request our speakers to restrict themselves to 15 minutes each. I'll call upon Zahid Hussain, in whose book the most contentious question was, is it going to be our war or is somebody else's war we are fighting? And as I referred to one interview that he had with the ISI, in which a general said, we want the Americans defeated. And if the Americans are defeated, is it a victory for us, or is there going to be some struggle ahead for us? Zahid Hussain.
Thank you so much. Miracles do happen, Parvez. Yeah. And I think it can happen here too. Well, actually, in the morning, I met few friends who are my comrades and colleagues during my student days when we were all leftist revolutionaries. One of them is now a professor in the medical college, and that medical college used to be our center. I'm talking about way back in 1970s. And what he's told me was quite depressing. He said he's scared to discuss even Darwin in his class. He also, and I have never seen, he's still an active rights activist. And to hear this thing from him was quite depressing. I'm not going to detail how did we arrive on to this situation. It's a long history. But I would say Pakistan was not the same as we see it now. We grew up in a completely different environment. I remember being the student of Karachi University. That was the place where we got this intellectual stimulation, where we developed some kind of thinking, and that kind of environment we may not have today. I remember those were the period when the guns were not out in the battle between the organizations. But now actually it's quite depressing to hear that we have declined to this extent where we cannot have any kind of enlightenment. The other thing which we have seen recently, again, is what happened over the last few weeks. I was watching television, which was live telecast of a rally in Lahore. And the leaders after leader came and threatened all of them to death who even dared to dissent with them. And one speaker even went to say that there will be another Mumtaz Qadri who will kill whoever leaders are there. And that was telecast live on the TV. And what did the state do? Nothing. And that's what I see is the worst thing which is happening in Pakistan is the collapse of the state and its failure to establish writ of law. And that was very evident when Salman Taseer was killed. And the government, even the government which he belonged to, refused to take any action. And what would you say when the interior minister of this country said that I too would have killed anyone who committed blasphemy. So what do you expect the others to do? And I think this is a serious situation for Pakistan. I would not say that most serious situation we have gone through. Probably we had seen many others. Could be one of the worst. But my belief is that when I'm talking about all those things, when I'm giving this depressing scenario, I'm also convinced that there is other side of Pakistan too. And that's what I was referring to in the early, that miracles could happen. May not be at this stage, students could not discuss openly as they used to do. What we are witnessing today is one narrative, and that is the narrative of decadence, the reactionary narrative, I would say. But does it mean that the entire population subscribes to this view? Can we say that the majority of people subscribe to those views? What's happening today is that the extremists have achieved or have succeeded in creating a sense of fear that has stopped people from talking openly. But we have to also see to ourselves. Have we not imposed that restriction on ourselves? If people start speaking, I think situation can turn around. And that is the problem today. We have seen what kind of dictatorship here. I remember we grew up during that dictatorship of General Ziaul Haq. And can there be a worse dictatorship than that? And what we are reaping today is basically the policy of that era. But there was a resistance. People fought back. And I think to some extent they succeeded in that. But what is happening is that we have given up so easily. We think that these are the people who are dominating the street today. They represent Pakistan. I doubt it very much. If they were dominating Pakistan fully, they may be ideologically, they have been able to control the mind of the people. Maybe actually when we talk about some of the middle class morality of the religious fundamentalists growing, yes, it may be true. But what I'm saying that, I take my example, that there was a period that now we are also talking openly. But I think depression has started when last few weeks there was a criminal silence on the part of the government on the issue and also abdication of responsibility. There is other Pakistan when I'm talking about is that Pakistan is producing that kind of literature. Pakistanis, they're also, this morning somebody actually gave example of that. We are proud to have people who have actually written and have taken and have resisted those efforts. So I think probably one of the other problem in Pakistan is our defeatism. Why have we accepted this? That is going to be our fate. I don't think that's going to be our fate. If we stand up today and fight back, those people the country do not have any future where they stop thinking, where they have stopped resisting it, where they have actually have lost the will to go forward. This is a bad period. But if we decide, I mean, with those people who are educated, those people, I think, I will say it's a privilege. If they take this position, I think we still have chance. And that's what miracle I was talking about. We all know what happened to this country. We have written umpteen time. We have gone back actually what the army has done, what the others have done. We have also been actually holding responsible the other countries and other people for all our failure. So we have to realize that we can fight back, and we are not actually, we may be a country in disarray today, a country where the system is failing, but probably the other countries have also gone the worst. And those countries have changed their fate. So why can't we do that? We can go on and on and on about the ills of this society. Yes, we all know that what we are witnessing today is a corrupt ruling elite, which is completely out of contact with the reality of this. When I went to Sindh during flood time, this is not my first time, I have been there 100 times. I've lived actually in this province, and I've known actually how deep poverty is. But I saw it in a concentrated form when I saw thousands and hundreds and thousands of people living on footpath of Sakha, Shikarpur, and without education. And this was not because of the flood. They have been living this life for, I don't know for how many years. And that area, I think I have never seen such kind of deprivation and poverty in my life. And which area was that? That also supposed to be the heartland of this political elite. So what have they done this to the country, we all know. They have kept this backward. That suits them, what we are seeing today. And now we have to face the reality. The courage is not to accept that defeat, but the courage is to understand what went wrong and then fight back. Thank you so much.
I think the most notable characteristic of Pakistan is the rise of extremism, the rise of extreme points of view. I have seen Naseem Zahra struggling gamely against two extreme points of view which she tries to balance. And I think our next speaker should be Naseem Zahra, who will tell us about what is happening to Pakistan and maybe what should be done.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. What is happening to Pakistan? Let me just start with just a few things that have happened in the Senate of Pakistan in the last 1 week. One is the attempt by a senator, Niloufar Bakhtiar, to suggest that that Fatiha be read for Salman Taseer, the assassinated governor. उस पर हमें मालूम है कि एक मौलाना जिनका ताल्लुक़ MQM से था, he refused. He just walked out and some others followed. और फिर कुछ लोगों ने खुद से फातिहा पढ़ डाला. उसके एक दो रोज़ बाद सेनेटर मंदुखेल खड़े हुए और उन्होंने ये फरमाया कि एक इस्लामाबाद में एक्टिविस्ट हैं, उन्होंने टेक्स्ट मैसेज सबको भेजा था चेहलुम के लिए सलमान तासीर साहब के, और ये कहा कि शहीद सलमान तासीर के लिए फातिहा ख़ानी होगी. तो मंदुखेल साहब खड़े हुए, उन्होंने कहा कि ये उन्होंने प्रिविलेज मोशन मूव की और उन्होंने कहा कि आई वांट अ रूलिंग फ्रॉम द चेयरमैन ऑफ द सेनेट कि ये जो जिन्होंने ये टेक्स्ट मैसेज भेजा, शी इज़ अ ब्लास्फेमर. उसकी वजह ये क्योंकि जो सलमान तासीर साहब थे उन्होंने ही हैड कमिटेड ब्लास्फेम, तो जो उनको शहीद कहेगा वो ही इज़ अ ब्लास्फेमर और शी इज़ अ ब्लास्फेमर. अच्छा, बहरहाल वहाँ डिप्टी चेयरमैन थे, उन्होंने बात को टाला और कहा कि मैं रूलिंग दूंगा. 2 दिन गुजर गए, फिर फाइनली आई थिंक परसों की बात है कि सेनेट के चेयरमैन वहाँ थे एंड मंदोखेल साहब, एनीवे वी स्पोक टू अ लॉट ऑफ सेनेटर्स वगैरह, उन्होंने ये एक्सप्लेन किया, उन्होंने कहा जब ये प्रिविलेज मोशन मूव करने की कोशिश की तो 3 सेनेटर्स स्टूड अप, जिसमें हुकूमत के सेनेटर्स भी थे, और उन्होंने एक्सप्लेन किया कि शी इज़ अ प्राइवेट सिटीजन, यू कांट मूव अ प्रिविलेज मोशन अगेंस्ट हर. तो he basically started to question their Islamic Muslim identity, और वो उन्होंने फिर they went on the defensive. तो बहरहाल बात पहुंच गई कि रूलिंग देनी चाहिए. तो परसों फिर सेनेट के चेयरमैन ने कहा, he basically took the easy way out. He said, look, I don't know about it, I've just come, this happened in my absence, so give me some time. एंड प्रोरोग हो गया सेशन, तो आई थिंक फिर कुछ जब 1 महीने बाद मिलेगा तो द सेम इशू विल बी रेज्ड. अच्छा, साथ उसके एक और जो किस्सा है वो आप सब जानते हैं कि प्रोसिक्यूशन की तरफ से कोई नहीं जा रहा जो कादरी जो कातिल हैं उनके केस में, और बार बार कोर्ट कह रहे प्रोसिक्यूशन की तरफ से कोई नहीं रिप्रेजेंट हो रहा. फिर आपने ये भी आप जानते हैं कि एक 17 साल के बच्चे को, जिसने अपने एग्ज़ाम के पेपर में कुछ लिखा होगा और चाहे भले से कुछ गलत भी लिखा हो, उनकी रिपोर्ट दी गई, दर्ज की गई पुलिस के पास, और दैट बॉय इज़ इन जेल, that 17-year-old boy, and I am told that couple of people from Karachi, people with a conscience, have gone and met with him. They don't want to talk about it, but that boy is obviously very disturbed. 1000 बातें हो सकती हैं जिसके बुनियाद पर उसने इस तरह की चीज़ लिखी हो. So let's look at these 4 events. कि जहाँ तक ये हम बात कर रहे हैं सेनेट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की, हम ये नहीं बात करें कि मुल्तान में किसी सेशन कोर्ट में शेरी रहमान के ख़िलाफ़ एक पर्चा कट रहा है और किसी की हिम्मत नहीं हो रही वहाँ कि उसको पर्चे को किसी तरीके से रेजिस्ट करे. हम बात कर रहे हैं